Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Economics Fundamentals by Mohd Nasir. Now we have arrived over the third unit of macroeconomics, which is determination of income, output and employment. A very important, valuable and at the same time a scoring unit of macroeconomics. It carries a weightage of 12 marks as far as the annual examination of plus 2 is concerned. So, in this unit, we deal with the determination of national income under the assumption of fixed price of final goods and constant rate of interest in the economy. The theoretical model used in this chapter is based on the theory given by John Maynard Keynes, who is known as the father of macroeconomics. As in Unit 1, which was on national income and related aggregates, we had come across terms like consumption, investment, or the total output of final goods and services in the economy, that is GDP. These terms have 12 connotations. What does it mean? In Unit 1, they were used in the accounting sense only. Means we use their actual values as measured by the activities within the economy in a certain year. We call the actual or accounting values of variables consumptions, investment, or output. That is, they are ex post measures. Ex post means the actual or the realized values. These terms, however, can be used with a different connotation. Consumption may denote not what people have actually consumed in a given year, but what they had planned to consume during the same period, which is called planned consumption. Similarly, the planned investment, the planned output, and so on. So we call the planned values of variable like consumption, investment, or output of final goods, their ex ante measures. So in this unit, we will deal with ex ante measures, means the planned consumption, the planned investment, the planned saving, and so on. So, in today's video, we will talk about the planned consumption or consumption function. Here we begin. First, we should understand what is consumption function. The level of household consumption depends directly upon the level of their income, disposable income. What is the disposable income? The income minus taxes. So the amount of money spent by the people on the purchase of goods and services in order to satisfy their wants directly is called consumption expenditure. So C is a function of YD, where YD is disposable income and how it calculated? Personal income minus personal taxes. Means disposable income is that income which is ready for consumption. How much will consumption expenditure change to a change in disposable income depends upon propensity to consume. So propensity to consume depicts the functional relationship between consumption and income. We can see the schedule where various level of income is given and the level of consumption is also given. You can see from the table that when the income is zero, even some sort of consumption is there, which is known as the autonomous consumption. Why it is autonomous? Because it is independent from the level of income. This is the level of consumption even when the income is zero, because there is a need of consumption. Consumption can never be zero. Even income is zero. So where it can be obtained from? We can use our previous saving or we can borrow to fulfill the level of autonomous consumption. And when the level of income goes on, then the consumption will also increases. As we see, when the level of income is 0, the level of consumption is 50. When income increases from 0 to 100, then the consumption will also increases from 50 to 100. Then when income becomes 200, the consumption become 150. So there is a constant increase in the consumption. Here we are assuming that the increase in consumption is constant. Our case of study is the model which is suggested by John Maynard Keynes. So it is clear from the schedule that consumption is increasing at a constant rate. It increases 50 after every increase in the level of income, that is 100. We can also understand the relationship between consumption and income from the given diagram. You can see the diagram on which OX axis we measure the level of income and on OY axis we measure the level of consumption. The consumption curve does not start from origin because of the assumptions that there is some minimum level of consumption even at zero level of income, which is called autonomous consumption. In our schedule, what was the amount of autonomous consumption? It was 50. So that is why the consumption curve CC starts from the above towards the OY axis. So consumption curve starts from the y-axis at a distance which is equal to autonomous consumption from the origin. The 45-degree line, or which is known as income line, has the feature that every point on it has the same horizontal as well as vertical coordinates. Since income is shown on the horizontal axis, that is OX axis, and the consumption is on OY axis, therefore at every point on 45-degree line, consumption is equal to income. Thus, the 45-degree line tells us whether consumption is equal to, greater than, or less than income. Here we see that at point Q, the level of consumption becomes equal to level of income. This point is known as break-even point, where consumption becomes equal to the level of income. Before this level, consumption is greater than income. So means there is a part of dis-saving. And beyond this level, consumption becomes less than the income. So this part is known as the saving part. So this is about the relation between consumption and income. Now moving on. Now we'll talk about the propensity to consume. As I have told you that propensity means the relationship between consumption and income. It shows the functional relationship. It refers to the schedule which shows the level of consumption at different levels of income in an economy. It simply is a ratio between C and Y. It has two aspects. The first one is average propensity to consume, and the second one is marginal propensity to consume. First, we will see about the average propensity to consume, which is known as APC. So APC is the consumption per unit of income, which is nothing but the C oblique Y. In other words, APC is the ratio of consumption and income at a given level of income. So we can denote APC is equal to C oblique Y, where C is equal to consumption and Y is equal to income. For example, if income Y is rupees 100 crore and consumption C is rupees 80 crore, then APC will be 80 oblique 100, which is equal to 0.8 or 80%. What does it mean? If there will be increase in the level of income is rupees 100, there will be increase in the level of consumption as rupees 80. In our table or our schedule, we can understand here with our schedule that if income increases from 100 to 200, the consumption will increase from 100 to 150. So what will be the value of APC over here? So APC means C oblique Y. So what is the C? That is 150. And what is Y? That is 200. So 150 oblique 200, it will be 0.75. What does it mean? That 75% of the consumption or 75% of the income will be used over the consumption. Now, we will understand this. After this, so here it is clear from the schedule that when income is 100, the consumption is 80, and similarly, the calculation of APC will be 0.8. Then when income becomes 200, consumption becomes 120. So the value of APC will be 0.6. So what does it means? What it shows? The tendency of APC shows declining in nature. As the income increases, the value of APC will decreases. Moving on. This is the illustration of APC. We can understand this with the help of this schedule and diagram. Here we also measure the level of income on OX axis and level of consumption on OY axis. Now, here you can also see that the consumption curve is getting start from the OY axis away from the zero. It is starting from 40. What does it mean? That autonomous consumption is 40 even at the level of zero income. So when income is 100, the consumption is 80. And when income becomes 200, the consumption becomes 120. And when we join these points, we get the consumption curve. And value of APC, 80 oblique 100, it becomes 0.8. And 120 oblique 200, which is becomes 0.6. Now moving on towards the marginal propensity to consume. What is marginal propensity to consume? It is the change in consumption due to a given change in income. It is denoted by B and is equal to change in C oblique change in Y. So what is MPC? MPC means the rate of change in consumption due to per unit change in income. Hence, it measures the rate of change in consumption per unit change in income. So MPC is equal to change in C oblique change in Y. Now we should understand some features of MPC, which are MPC remains same or constant throughout. In our course of study, as I have told you, that we are dealing with the John Maynard Keynes model. So in this model, it is the assumption that MPC remains same throughout as consumption increases with the constant rate. The value of MPC lies between 0 and 1 because change in consumption is always less than change in income. What does it mean? It means the MPC will be 0 when there will be no consumption due to change in income. And when the whole amount of additional income will be consumed, the value of MPC will be equal to 1 because MPC is equal to change in C oblique change in Y. When change in C becomes 100 crores and change in income becomes also 100 crores, so the value of MPC will be 1. And if change in C will be 0 and change in Y will becomes 100 crores, so the value of MPC will be 0. That is why the value of MPC lies between 0 to 1. When hold the share will be used over the consumption, the value of MPC will be equal to 1. And when there will be no change in consumption due to the change in income, then the value of MPC will be 1, will be 0. APC is always more than MPC. APC is always more than MPC because the formula for getting APC is C oblique Y. Now we can understand how we estimate MPC with the given schedule. When income is 100, the consumption is 80. When income becomes 200, the consumption becomes 120. And when income becomes 300, the consumption in the third column becomes 160. So here change in Y is 100, 100. And what is change in C? It is constant as far as our case is concerned or assumption is concerned. So it is 40, 40. So value of MPC will be change in C oblique change in Y. So at the level of 200, the value of MPC will be 40 oblique 100. 40 means change in consumption divided by change in income, which is 100, so 0.4. Again at the level of 300 income, the value of MPC will be again 0.4 because consumption is changing with a constant rate, income is also changing with a constant rate. Again 40 divided by 100, we obtain 0.4. This is how we calculate MPC. Similarly, we can calculate the APC, C oblique Y. At the level of 100 income, the value of APC will be 0.8. At the level of 200 income, the value of APC will be 0.6, 120 divided by 100. And at the level of 300, the value of APC will be 0.533. So in this way, we calculate the values of APC and MPC. Now we can also understand the MPC with the given diagram. Again, we measure the level of income on OX axis and consumption on OY axis. The consumption curve is getting start from away from the zero, which is from the R. So OR is the level of autonomous consumption, which is at the zero level of income. The minimum level of consumption is there. Now RC or CR is the required consumption curve. And here we see the change in consumption, which is nothing but the value of EF. And the change in income is the value of DF. We see that the value of DF is greater than the value of EF. Means due to the change in income, the consumption is being changed, but it is less than income. So consumption C is less than Y, and APC is the value of APC will be less than 1. Now we see the factors which determines the propensity to consume. Means what are the various factors by which the propensity to consume can vary. First one is money income. If there is an increase in income, there will be increase in consumption as well. It's a natural phenomenon. When income increases, the consumers increases their consumptions as well. Distribution of income. We know that a country like India, there is a huge unequal distribution of income. So unequal distribution of income reduces the level of consumption. Fiscal policy, the policy of taxes, which is imposed by the government. If taxes are more, they reduce consumption. At the very beginning, what we have discussed, C is a function of YD. What is YD? The disposable income. And how we calculate disposable income? When we deduct the taxes from the level of income, then we calculate the disposable income. So when taxes are increases, the level of consumption will definitely be decreases. Future expectations. If prices will rise in future, present consumption will increase. If we hear that the value of food grains are going to be high in coming future, the future expectations. So what we will do, we will try to buy more items, more food grains nowadays. That doesn't matter whether they're required or not, but we will store them because future expectation is there. The next one is rate of interest. If there is an increase in interest rate, so more saving will take place, and similarly, the less consumption. So, dear learners, this is what the consumption functions, the propensity to consume is all about. A very important and very relevant topic before we start this determination of income, output, and employment session. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.